Hi, you guys. Thanks for listening to this episode with Tips with Teeth. On today, I have Mr. Terry with us. Mr. Terry, how are you doing today?
I'm wonderful, T. Thanks very much for having me on.
It's awesome to have you on today. So tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you do.
Well, I'm a lifelong people watcher and an entrepreneur and a retired Navy man. I spent 20 years in the Navy. That was a lot of fun. I saw a lot of the world and enjoyed it. And then I've been an entrepreneur, a corporate executive. I've just kind of spread myself out a lot of different ways. Over the last 10 years, I've worked with people with repetitive behaviors and things like that, and I've learned some stuff. And you may have noticed when we started, there's a book there. And I noticed some stuff about people and the little way they move, their subconsciously move their muscles and things like that, tilt to the head, means things over and above the traditional body language and things like that. So I took it one step past that, and I use it in our work with people around the world, and we'll talk about that a little bit too, Keith.
Awesome. So you wrote a book, and the book is called Profiling for Profit, What Cross Arms Don't Tell You. So tell us more about the book and the concept and what made you decide to write the book.
Well, people have been asking me to write it for a long time, particularly my practitioners. Like I say, I work with people with behaviors, and a lot of them want to become practitioners. They want to do this work too. So I have practitioners in 8 countries. I have clients in 13 countries on 5 continents, 26 U.S. states. So there's a need for me to expand, and I like it from left to right. I don't like it north to south. So to make that teaching point easier, I created the book based on my life's observations and what we've learned over the last decade working with people with repetitive behavior, right here on Zoom or Skype or different audiovisual platforms.
Awesome. So how do you interpret the physical behaviors of people, as you observe and engage with them?
Okay, that's a really good question. Thank you. What I've learned is if you put a line down the center and we split the 2 sides, left side of the body and the right side of the body, I've found that the left side of the body is family, love, nurture, trust, all those types of things. The other side, not so much. Defense, deflection, fear, all of that is over there. A really good example is I'm a dad. When my baby would cry, I would pick her up and I would put her where? Over my left shoulder, over the top of my heart, and she would calm down relatively quickly. And then I'd nurture her. See, I'd turn my head to the left, and I would nurture her. And when I noticed both myself and talking with other people, if they seem to go to the right, they either have questions or our communication is not going as intended. So that's 2 great examples. In the book, I have a funny story. The first $2,000 suit I sold as a custom clothing salesperson, late last century. I love saying that. It's great. The person was standing in front of me with his arms crossed, and I stopped my clothing presentation to him and said, "So how do you want to pay for your new suit?" He just reached back for his pocket and, "So you take Visa?" And I go, "Sure." And so sit down, let's take a deposit, and we'll work up your suit order. So a couple of minutes later, the guy sits back in his chair, and he looks at me and goes, "Wait a minute. I am an accomplished, very successful salesman. I travel the United States making multi-million-dollar sales. I'm standing in front of you for the first time with my arms crossed, which normally means I'm protecting myself for no buy, and you close me. How did you know?" And I said, "Well, it's pretty easy. Your feet were parallel to me, so you're completely open in your body. Okay, you've learned the response of crossing your arms, but your head is tilted to the left and down just a little bit. Trust, nurture, time to buy. I'll be darned." And he leans back forward, and we said, and I had my first $2,000 suit sale. So that's a really good example of how this works. Let's say you're presenting to some people in a presentation, Rotary Club or a church or a board of directors. And as you're presenting, you watch the little movements of their body, not so much going like this or sitting back or whatever. I've learned that some people are naturally cold. So they'll cross their arms. They're cold. That doesn't mean they're no body. There's other things to observe in that. But as you're talking to people and observing the little turns in their head and what they're doing, how they move their hands, how they set their feet, if you can see that, means something, whether or not your presentation is getting through to people. And that I teach in the book is saying, you stop and say, does that make sense? 99% of the time, they're going to say yes. The 1% of the time that they say no, well, you have a question. What's your question? And you can tailor that movement of your presentation so that when you observe those different things, you can connect to them on a human point. People want to be acknowledged personally. I don't care if there's 5,000 people in the room. They want to feel like you're talking to them. So talk to them. And that's really how we do this.
Yeah, it's very amazing how we tend to read people's body language a lot, whether it's personal or, whether we're out networking with different people. And some body language we do tend to take offense to it or feel like it's really negative when sometimes it might not be, might just like you said, a person might just be naturally cold. So now, and it's amazing how body language tells us everything, but sometimes we can misinterpret that body language as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's around 900 or 950 books on Amazon or Barnes & Noble sites or anything on body language. There's tons of them. And a lot of them are really good. Okay, and there's a lot of people out there teaching body language and successfully doing so. I've noticed there's little nuances in body movement that indicate on an unconscious level how you're doing in your communication. I talk to a lot of sales teams, so it's the sales conversation. And I even give examples in there of how to read an email, okay, how it's worded. Is it professional? Is it very casual? Is it short and terse? Is it that tells you how engaged the person was in communicating with you. On the phone, if they're kind of drawing out their language, they're kind of, for those of you who can't see me maybe, I'm sitting back and relaxed, almost putting my feet up. I'm talking at a different cadence. But when I'm talking to you professionally, my cadence changes. And I'm more in tune with the way I pronunciate words, those types of things. So we teach all of that in there. So not only phone sales, but emails and in person.
So what tips would you, do you give any tips to people to help them if they want to learn how to change their body language so they're not giving off negative messages when they're not intending to do so?
Tips for, be you, be real. If your head tilts to the left, odds are this is a new book, so it's only been out 3 months. Mm-hmm. So odds are the person you're talking to hasn't read the book. So it's really not that big a deal. If you are you, you're going to be at a more relaxed state. The more a person is engaged with a person, speaking to them like you and I are today, even though we're on Zoom, we're still communicating one-to-one interpersonally. So be yourself. Your best self shines through better than anything that you've practiced. And quite frankly, if you've practiced the fake look, people can see it. Mm-hmm. They feel it. Mm-hmm. Okay? And authenticity and relationship marketing is key in the 21st century. What do I mean by relationship marketing? It's about making friends with the other person. Zig Ziglar was famous at that 20, 40 years ago. It's still valid today. Be yourself, be real, don't lie to people. If you're selling a product or yourself or whatever, you have a lot to say that's the truth. Say the truth. Why say things that are just not you? Mm-hmm. And you'll do fine. Buy my book. It's only 80 pages. I call it an airplane book, Kate. It's one of those where you get on an airplane for an hour and a half and you read the book. By the time you land, you order 20 more for your sales team and you get them trained on it.
So, what kind of feedback have you been getting from your book so far?
All of our clients, we're in a global transformation coaching and mentoring company. They all got a copy, and they all love it. My
Hmm.
practitioners were wowed about the different things that they'd either forgotten or never noticed before. So even though they've gone through training and all that stuff, they're very happy to see these other things. People outside, my friends, colleagues in the coaching and mentoring world have sent me terrific reviews back to address the different things that they saw in the book. And matter of fact, one gave the book to a friend of his who he thought could utilize it. The friend calls me; he's now a client. So hey, it's not bad.
Well, that's great. That's great. So tell us how we can get a copy of your book and how we can get up with you. And I'm gonna share the social handles.
Okay. Well, the easiest way to do it is if you forget anything else, remember Terry Earthwind Nichols. It's right here on the screen. Terry Earthwind Nichols. Google me. You'll find anything you want. There he is. Evolutionary Healer, you can get to me. Amazon.com. And if you type in the search bar Terry Earthwind Nichols in Amazon, you get all my books. It's my author page. That's really easy. It's available in paperback and ebook. So, Kindle's got it too for those of you who like traveling and reading as you go, right? So that's an excellent way to do it. There's my email and those types of things for you that are reading this and have it on video. Pause right real quick and make a screen capture and keep that for yourself and reach out to me. We do some terrific work. We're available for presentations and sales meetings and different things.
Well, thank you, Mr. Terry, for coming on the show today. I will definitely take a check out your book. It sounds very, very helpful when it comes to, reading the body language and learning things when it comes to, our body and what it represents. So, which is very, very important professionally and personally. Learning how to be yourself and authentic, and use your body language and be real and honest and open with yourself. So I appreciate you coming on the show today.
Thank you. And just for those of you guys that are seeing my picture right there, that photo was taken by my wife who said, hey, look over here. And I did, and she shot it. Now, here's what you don't see unless you're trained to. I'm going to the left. My left shoulder is up, meaning love and trust. Okay? There's another hint for you to do that. T, this has been fun.
Well, thank you for coming on. And you guys, if you want to get in contact with me, here's my contact information. You can call me 910-317-0396. You can email me contact@mjfinancial.biz, or you can schedule a consultation at www.mjfinancial.biz. And you can also find this episode, you guys, on Anchor. Thank you, Mr. Terry, again for coming on the show, explaining the different body language and also promoting your book. Definitely look forward to reading it. And hopefully you will come back on the show again.
I would love it. I would love to come back on the show. Our conversations have been terrific, and you're a really nice person. And I would love to come back and talk to you again.
All right, you guys. Well, we'll see you on the next episode.